Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to 1992. This is a new style of video for me, but we'll see how it goes, and I think rather than sit staring at a DOS prompt, we'll get straight into it and see what we're up against, shall we? Wonderful ad-lib style music.
At last, you are asleep. For 3 nights, each attempt to rest has brought you starting from your bed in fright, with no memory of what horrified you so. With a sickening sense of déjà vu, you begin to dream.
Treachery and doom. My brother would unleash a great evil. Britannia is in peril.
Sure that the ghost can take you to Britannia, you allow yourself to be drawn to him.
A visitor, and from far away indeed. Were he not dead, I'd suspect my brother sent thee. No matter, thou shalt serve to draw the hounds from the scent.
Below, a creature heads toward the dark woods, a thrashing sack slung over its massive shoulder.
What hast thou done with our lord's daughter Ariel? Dropped her below to an accomplice, I'll wager. Well, he'll nigh escape us, and when we bring him back, you'll both hang.
Several tense hours later, you are dragged before Baron Ulmric. Ignoring you, Ulmric questions his captain.
What news, Corwin?
Forgive us, my lord. The foul creature escaped. A score of us gave chase, but it fled into the Stygian abyss with poor Ariel. We were attacked, goblins and worse, my lord. Only 3 of us survived.
I see.
The Baron turns his hard grey eyes upon you.
I was warned of thy coming. Last fortnight, an apparition of an old, haggard man appeared in my dreams. Guard thy daughter well, it warned, for an evil one shall come to steal her away. I posted guards at Ariel's door, but still you took her from me. They say thou didst drop her to a troll waiting below. What sayest thou?
You explain that you are the Avatar, and that you are innocent.
Whether thou speak truth or falsehood, I cannot say. Stories tell of the coming of the Avatar, but years have passed since he visited here. If thou art truly the Avatar, then perhaps thou canst offer hope. None here can survive the Stygian abyss and rescue Ariel. My mind is set. Corwin shall take thee to the abyss. Return here with my daughter, and thy innocence shall be proven. If thou dost not return, Avatar, then thy lies shall have brought thee low.
This be the foul pit's only entrance. Once it is locked, none can pass. I will shut thee in and stand guard till I hear Ariel's voice from within. Otherwise, 'twill remain shut forever.
That was quite something, wasn't it? I love everything about this game, but it must be said that the voice acting in the intro is interesting. Fortunately, this being an old 90s DOS game that shipped on floppy, there wasn't a great deal of room for voice acting in the main game, which means there isn't any. Basically, all NPC interactions are text only. Unfortunately, that means that I'll be doing it. But I think, having viewed the introduction and the backstory such that it is, we shall jump straight into it and create a character. This is It's a 3D dungeon crawler, more or less. It's a spin-off from the very popular top-down Ultima series of dungeon crawlers from around that time. And I shall talk more about it as we go on. I've decided to be a paladin, which I think will give us a nice balance between the bashy of the warrior and the zappy of the mage. I do want some magical skills, but I think I'll just basically be running around and clobbering things for the most part. So I think a paladin will be a good compromise. There's not a huge amount of the character creator. I think the developers wanted you to be able to jump more or less straight in with just a minimum of rolling stats for your characters. The first set of skills for the paladin aren't particularly useful. I think I might go with acrobat because there are a few jumping puzzles. And I like to specialise in axe just because I like specialising in axes. And here we have the what passes for a character creator in 1992. It's obviously not like modern games where you can spend a week in the character creator and creating an exact 3D model of your own face. We've got these 5 portraits to choose from, and there are obviously 5 ladies if you want to choose a female character. There's confused looking dude, token black guy, wannabe rockstar dude, basically my dad, and 70s porn star dude. So I think will be the default confused dude. Standard difficulty obviously. Confused dude. I think we shall keep this character and confused dude enters the abyss, and here is the abyss in all its 16-bit 1990s 3D glory. And this, I can assure you, was absolutely state of the art in 1992. And the engine is in fact very sophisticated for its day. Rumour has it even that a certain young programmer saw an early build of the Ultima Underworld engine and was impressed, but he thought he could come up with a faster one. That young programmer's name was John Carmack, and the result of that was Wolfenstein 3D. Obviously, he did what he set out to do. He created a faster engine with more pixels slung about. I am emulating a fairly grunty PC in DOSBox. You probably wouldn't get anything like this smoother frame rate out of your 286 back in the day. Of course, Carmack, to get the visceral, fast-paced violence that id Software was to become famous for, had to cut quite a lot of corners in his engine. This is a much more advanced engine in many ways, but obviously that means it's also rather slower, and there aren't as many pixels as you can physically fling around the screen. This rather small 3D window is what you're getting, which wasn't necessarily considered a drawback at the time. The dungeon crawlers of the day you would have expected to see something like this, a sort of large character portrait, your inventory common permanently there, your character sheets accessible by this little pull chain. You can see my stats and my skills down here. So other things as a status bar. The writing, as you see, the writing reads, "We attacked the entrance with all manner of tools, but it gave not a hair. It simply cannot be breached. Hence we have resigned ourselves to die in this hellish pit. Elsmore." Elsmore, presumably the last guy to be chucked in the abyss by the Baron. We will see what he has left us. He has given us a little bit of equipment. We look in this sack, we see a dagger. I think I said I was left-handed, so the dagger should go here. We have a map, which is very useful. We have a torch, which is very useful, and a bit of food. So he's not given us his best and most expensive equipment, but I don't get the impression he expects us to last very long. I shall light this torch. I don't get the impression he expects us to last this long, but the Stygian Abyss is a location from the Ultima series. At this point in the history of the setting, it was intended at one time to be to be a colony where various races would live in harmony. But it's fallen into disrepair since then. And an Ort stone and a Yux stone. We'll talk about these runes in a moment. Yes, it's somewhat fallen into disrepair. And the Baron these days just uses it basically as a dungeon. So I've been thrown in here on suspicion of kidnapping his daughter. And I need to prove my innocence by finding her. And that's basically the quest as it stands so far. So here is a pack. Obviously I shall hoover up all the loot I can. There's a note. The note reads, "My dearest Alfred, go into the abyss knowing that I will not forget thee. As bitter as the Baron's justice does seem, 'tis better than a hangman's noose. No matter the passing of years, I will await thy return. Yours forever, Sandra." I suspect that Alfred didn't return. In fact, I suspect that that's him there. So we'll have a moment of silence for the poor grieving Sandra and the unfortunate Alfred. Right, that's enough. What sort of loot has he given us? We've got a key. The handle of this key is tarnished from heavy use. We've got the note from Sandra, which we'll leave, and we have a rune bag. Spoiler, it's a rune bag. The rune bag is currently empty at the moment. We have slots for various runes. And some runes: Betstone, Instone, Lawstone, and Sanctstone. If we put the stones in our rune bag, we'll now see that the grid begins to be populated. There's rune stones are the way by which magic happens in this game. And again, I think I will explain that in due course. It's the beginning of my rune collection. As you progress through the game, you find various rune stones, and the more rune stones you find, the more spells you can cast, and also the more advanced you get in excuse me. Also, the more you level up your character and the more skills you get in magic, the better you become at casting spells. Oh no, rat. It is an upset giant rat. It doesn't want to speak to me. Here are some badly worn leather leggings, which I shall wear. They give me a little bit of protection, as I seem to have been thrown into the abyss in my underwear. Actually, I was transported here from my bed in the middle of the night, so it's not really surprising that I'm in my underwear. There is a piece of cheese belonging to a rat, and a day-old piece of meat also belonging to a rat. There's a rat there. The rat will be angry if I try and take his stuff, but since I'm playing a paladin, I think theft is beneath me. So I will leave him alone. The sturdy door is locked, but with our newfound key we can unlock it. And here is a dude, our first NPC. Hello, dude. Ooh, stay still, I want to talk to you. A mellow outcast named Braggett. Let's talk to Braggett and see what he has to say. He keeps moving about. Stop moving about, I want to talk to you. Right. Hail, stranger! What be thy business? I've not seen thee in this place before. I'm attempting to rescue. I'm attempting to rescue an innocent girl. Ah, rescue mission, is it? Should the Baron's guards not be with thee to aid thee in this search? More likely one of them threw thee in here, eh? All right, you got a point. Thou needst not be ashamed of thy misfortune, lad. Thou art in the same pot with all of us now. If thou art to have a chance of surviving in the abyss for long, thou must learn the lay of the land. Yeah, all right. I will be eager to learn of this area. First off, I would suggest picking up anything thou dost find that seems of use. Items here are scarce enough. Thou wouldst be well advised to take what thou can. Scavenge all you want, but stealing is ill-advised. Most of the abyss's inhabitants guard jealously the few possessions that they have. Battle sites are the best for scavenging. That's why I'm here. A battle took place here not long ago. A battle between the goblins and the above-worlders. And what was the cause of this battle? I don't know. It's rare that the Baron sends his men into the abyss. Must have been important. though by the looks of it, the goblins defeated them handily. The goblins control most of these upper caves. 2 races there are, the green and the grey. If they do not destroy each other, it is not for lack of trying. Be thou especially careful of the grey goblins. I was recently imprisoned by them for trespassing. That sounds terrible. Must have been awful. My prison cell was evidently a converted storeroom, for it had a stock of useful items, including a long pole. Using the pole, I was able to reach a button, which opened the door to my cell. I sneaked away and returned to my people. I don't think I will venture there again. Sounds reasonable. Tell me of thy people. The humans, like thee and myself, have staked out a small area in which we live in relative peace. Below us are the mountain men, and after that I do not know. Is everyone but us hostile? A nasty place this is, thou canst be certain of that. In the parts of the upper caves uninhabited by goblins, there are giant spiders and worms. Our small group is one of the few devoted to peace. Thou canst find my people by going west from the entrance to the abyss and then north. There is a small chasm to jump over, but thou dost seem to be a dexterous lad. Past the chasm is the sign of civilization everywhere throughout the abyss, the banner of Kybyrus, marked with an ankh, the sign of the Avatar. Yes, I should know about that, being the Avatar. Outside of areas marked with a banner, thou shouldst watch thyself most carefully. Most creatures who do not respect Kybyrus' legacy are not particularly friendly. Perhaps I will seek this area out. Good luck on the travels. There's Braggett, he seems a pleasant enough chap. He's obviously a fellow outcast, or rather incast. I'll take a bedroll since no one seems to have claimed it. He's bestowed upon me a little bit of useful information. Somewhat used candle. Candles don't give as much illumination as torches, and I don't usually bother with them. Here we see a chasm. He did say there was a chasm to be jumped over. He also said I seem to be a dexterous lad, so obviously that point I put into dexterity is noticeable by all. He'd have said that even otherwise. But if I had been playing a female character, he would have called me a dexterous lass. The conversation engine is actually very sophisticated as well. I may talk about that a little bit later. But yes, the conversation engine is certainly up to that amount of what's the word? Dynamic conversation generation. Not really, but it can substitute a word for another. And you probably talking because I'm obviously not making a lot of sense. The door is locked. If the door is locked, do I have the key for it? The key does not fit. No, I don't have the key for it. Yeah. Well. There is a switch and some water and a drain. So I swim across this little... I see a hostile rotworm. Oops. Hey, combat! My first violence. There we go. Violence obviously suits. Rotworm left a corpse, which is unusual. Most creatures don't leave a corpse. Most creatures will just leave a blood spat. This corpse might be useful later on. See a worn wooden shield, so I'm accumulating a little bit of defense here, and a switch. If I pull the switch, nothing much seems to happen. But if I return over here, the door is now open. Oop, and hostile. Oh! Very easy to accidentally throw an item instead of using it. I don't want to throw away my axe when I'm being attacked by a bat. Come on, bat, fall over. Splat bat. Splat bat. Poisoned me. Stupid bat. I'm mildly poisoned. It'll wear off. Have that dagger back. And little platform to an underground river. which I am disinclined to swim at the moment. I may explore the river in due course. Let's take a shifty on my map. I do have a magic automatically filling in map, so the Baron was at least that generous. So here is the entrance to the abyss where I came in. There is the underground, the beginning of the underground river. There's a little island with the water channel. Braggett, I think, was over here, looking at the site of an old battle. He said go west from the entrance to the abyss, and then jump over a chasm. I think we saw a passageway leading off here. So if I come up this way, jumping physics way. If I come up this way and jump over this chasm here, it appears that I am indeed the dexterous lad he took me for. If we toddle up here, you should see the outcasts, which are those... Come on, I want to pick up this short sword, just in case. And here's another rat, also upset. Creatures and NPCs have various attitudes. Oil flask. I'll take these oil flasks. They will come in useful if I find a lantern. The creatures and NPCs can be upset, but they won't actually attack you if they're unless they're hostile. So that rat is fairly safe if I don't bother it. And here is the banner of Cabarrus, the sign of the Avatar. So it seems as if he didn't lead me wrong. This is the community of outcasts. Those among the the recipients of the Baron's rather rough justice that are civilized enough to have set up a society down here. I think, right, the door is locked. I think this is the outcast's key. You didn't tell me the door was going to be locked, but I have the key anyway. So here we have the outcast's supplies, which I shan't loot because I'm a good boy, and what appears to be the outcast's toilet. And a four and a pole that no one's claimed up. We'll have the pole. The pole can be useful. Sturdy door, and a mellow outcast named Gulick. And since he's mellow... Who art thou? I am confused, dude. I am Gulick, called the Blessed. Do I want to know why you're called the Blessed? I've been called the Blessed since my prison days, when I was considered lucky because I have a taste for cockroaches. I never went hungry, thou seest. You're right, I didn't want to know that. Okay, is this place better than a prison? Thou art in the great Stygian abyss, where neither thou nor any other may ever hope to leave again. 'Tis worse than any prison, for there is no hope of parole or pardon, and no death so clean as an honest hanging. Have none other escaped? Escape? Ha! There be no escape from this place, barring the final escape of death. When the colony fell, a mighty spell was laid on the great gate. Now it cannot be opened save from the outside. Sorry to hear that. Then thou should speak with Hagbard. He is our leader. Okay, I'll have a look for this Hagbard. I wonder if Hagbard is a reference to the Illuminatus trilogy. There was a leader of the outcasts called Hagbard in that book, those books, as I recall. This is a very nice. Look, the poison's worn off. This is a very nice place the outcasts have got for themselves. They almost certainly didn't build it. Since this used to be a civilized colony, they probably moved into an area intended for somebody else. Got a little swimming pool here and some marble floors and a fairly tasteful stone wall. That's even some pillars. With some 3D pillars. No expense spared in the engine. Okay, I see an upset outcast named Hagbard. Ha! Another fish enters the barrel. What be thy crimes, son of misfortune? Not a son of misfortune. What do you mean? Surely thou art one among us who was condemned by that pious oaf Baron Ulmric. We are the outcasts, are the survivors of intemperate justice, fugitives from the predations of the gobs. Yeah, you have a point there. His justice does seem a little bit intemperate. Perhaps you can tell me about his daughter then. A young girl was this, beauteous but innocent. I would imagine so. We did see her but hours agone, carried by a troll and pursued by a pack of fools. They fell afoul of the gobs, to be sure. Gobs? Aye, the goblins. They be the greens and the greys, and they are deadly foes. They make our lives more difficult still with their vendettas. Okay, what do they fight? None can say. Their conflict seems to have begun at the time of the Great Collapse, when the civilization of the Under-Earth fell. We know only that their leaders have sworn never to agree on anything. Okay, and what else is there? Ah, none who have ventured past the realm of the gobs have returned, but rumour at it there are worse perils below. I'm sure there are. Perhaps I can solve it. Well, so much for Hagbard. He's not told me a lot that I don't know, but he has said that Ariel was carried below by a troll, which I probably could have guessed, and that there are maybe a little bit more about the goblins. There are two warring tribes. And that the Baron Ulmric did send some of his soldiers into the abyss, but they fell foul of the goblins, not unexpectedly. Flask of port belonging to an outcast. I'm going to try and nick their stuff. They won't be very happy with that. They are mellow. So, another comrade is caught by the abyss. What was thy crime, pray tell? I committed no crime, thank you very much. Ooh, thou art an innocent passer-by, eh? Perhaps thou art here on a tour of the abyss, or art thou a census taker? A tax collector, eh? It's no call to be sarcastic. Thrown here wrongfully, and I speak for you. Thrown here against thy will, I would believe, but wrongfully is a different matter. No need to pretend amongst us, though. Not a one of us believes in Ulmric's petty justice. Yeah, well, you're probably victims of it, aren't you? Now that thou art here, thou should stay with us. The creatures beyond are far worse than anything Ulmric could do to thee. Right here near the door is safest, trust me. Do you ever venture outside? It is unbelievable. Once, it is said, all the races here lived in harmony. Not now, that's for certain. The gobs on this level are constantly at war with each other as well as everyone else, and below are things I dare not speak of. It is rumoured that some remnants of civilization remain in most colonised areas of the abyss, but I have never had the courage or the interest to find out. How can I find the remnants of these civilizations? Well, thou shouldst know that most of the inhabitants of the abyss are unfriendly. It's not so much a question of what areas to avoid as which areas are relatively safe. Look for the banner of Cabirus, a tapestry with an ankh such as we have, as a sign of civilization. Any people or creatures they thus find past the banner are more likely to talk with thee than eat thee. Speaking of ankhs, thou wouldst do well to search out the other thing they represent, the shrines. And what use are these shrines then? When thou dost see a large plain ankh standing on the ground, thou hast found a shrine to virtue. It is said that if thou hast been virtuous and dedicated to increasing thy abilities, praying at a shrine with the correct mantra will allow thee to enhance the abilities. It is said that there is one in the southeast area of these upper caves, but I've not seen it myself. I thank you for your information. Well, good luck in thy travels. Thou art always welcome here. So it seems that this unnamed NPC of the Outcasts is in fact giving me the most useful information of them all. He's told me about the shrines, and he's hinted extremely broadly that the shrines are the way one levels up in this game, which obviously is the case. Where did he say there was a shrine? I think there's a shrine in the southeast area of these caves. Right. By the way, I can make notes on the map. It's a very useful map. So there's a shrine around here somewhere. And I think I shall seek out the shrine next time, since I've been recording for half an hour. So until then, I shall say bye-bye.